Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back on our Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure review, and back with another of the Trooper Army Builder multi-packs. We have the Phase 2 Clone Trooper multi-pack, which is an interesting one. I had my eye on this for a while. I think it came out earlier this year. I'm not sure. I think it's from this year though. And GameStop and Amazon have had it, and I've had it like watched for a while, but it just recently went on sale for 20% off, so I decided to finally pull the trigger on it. And it's a cool set. There's some interesting things going on with it. But first, we'll take a look at the box. So you've got the box here with the colors of the different troopers you get. This is an interesting pack in a set that it's a variety of technically three different types of trooper, I guess. You get two of the normal white Phase 2, one 501st, and one 332nd. I think I always don't remember the number of these guys, the Ahsoka troopers. I think it's 332nd. I could be wrong though, and I didn't care enough to check. But yeah, you had the standard kind of art for these multi packs. There's nothing too much else going on the box. You've got the specific figures you actually get in the box, but that's pretty much it. So I'll take a look at the actual figures. So here we have the figures, and yeah, like I said, it's just plain white phase 2s, a phase 2 501st and a phase 2 332nd, because they are only ever phase 2s. And pretty cool figures. I was expecting them all to be just repaints, and in the case of the white ones, straight reissues of the single carded Andor phase 2 clone trooper, and they almost are. The one major difference is these actually all use a new helmet sculpt, or at least I think it's new. I don't recall them using a non-removable phase 2 helmet yet outside of this pack. Maybe they have though, but the Andor trooper had a removable phase 2 helmet with a clone likeness underneath, and these are all just head sculpts. They're not removable helmets, which is pretty interesting. On the one hand, I think it's a bit unfortunate you don't get the option to have them without their helmets on. There are other clone packs that did that and gave them like different expressions, which I think these packs are a great opportunity to do that, to give them different expressions. So I'm kind of missing that a little bit. But on the flip side, the new helmet that is not removable, we'll do a comparison with the Andor Trooper, but I do think it is improved, and it's definitely it's up there, one of the best phase 2 clone trooper sculpts that exists for sure. But yeah, I guess we'll go through them each really quickly. But we got 332nd. This is not the first time we've actually gotten this trooper in TVC. It did get a single card release maybe a couple of years ago on the old like VC 1.0 body, that one that's kind of tall and lanky, which I still like that mold. But yeah, I'm glad we've gotten an update that's definitely much better, and this figure is definitely a lot better than that old one. Looks pretty good for the most part, although on mine the visor is really out of whack. The print or whatever missed the mark of the sculpt. It's not super hard to tell at a distance just because of the way the orange looks on the helmet, but when you get in close you can tell. It's a little annoying. I do like that it does look like they've painted the grill on the mouthpiece though. They stopped doing that for a while, and then they started doing it again, so I like it when they paint that. It looks a lot better when they paint the gray and the black slots on it. You get the blue little vent things, the black on the chin, the black band around, the gray detail. The markings on the forehead are a lot cleaner than on my old one, on the old body. That one was way out of whack. This one does look cleaner in that respect. And then you've got the 501st markings on the rest of the body. They go with like a scuffed up look for the front. And then on the side, they also kind of got that scuffed up look. But then they didn't do it on the shoulder pads though, which I guess is okay. You got the blue around the wrists there. Not a whole lot to say. If you've owned the Andor mold, or the single release Andor mold, then you know what you're getting here. It is a nice, probably the best proportionate clone body we've gotten so far, and it's definitely the best articulated. They are pretty close to nailing the definitive clone mold for this scale, I would say. This one's pretty close. Articulation on these guys is all the same. There's a dumbbell joint at the neck, so you get an okay range of motion, a little bit of pivot, rotation, up, down. Hinges at the shoulders, and the shoulder pads are glued at the bicep there, and they are soft, so they will get out of the way. Although you will want to be wary of leaving the arms like this for a long period of time. It will more than likely warp out the plastic. Single hinge of the elbows that go a bit past 90. They rotate. You have a swivel and in and out at the left wrist, up and down for the trigger finger wrist on the right. A ball joint at the torso that doesn't really crunch forward that much. It goes back just a little bit. Slight pivot, and then mainly rotation. the new style hip joints that kick all the way forward. They go back a little bit. You got a nicely hidden sole cut at the thigh there. Single hinges at the knees that go 90, and then hinges at the ankles that go up a fair bit, go down a lot, and they rock for ankle pivot. So you can get a lot of great opposability out of this mold. Again, if you have that Andor clone, then you know exactly what you're getting here. There'll be no surprises. In terms of accessories, every figure comes with the DC-15 carbine. That's included with every figure. All the weapons are just cast in this black plastic. But you also get 2 extra DC-15 rifles that you can give to your figures, or not give them to them if you don't want to use them at all. But it is nice to get a couple of the extra weapons. Because of this is an Army Builder pack, though, I would like to see them start releasing some new weapons. A rotary cannon, I think, would be really nice to include for one of the characters. A rocket launcher would be super cool, and then maybe some other accessories, like maybe like a bandolier, like a satchel, a backpack, some stuff that you could add to the figures to diversify your troops even more if you're going to army build a lot. But then the 501st, I won't spend too much time on the rest of the figures. The rest of the clones in the pack do have better painted visors. I don't know why it was messed up so much on the 332nd, but the 501st one looks a lot better. And yeah, this is probably my favorite 501st 3 3/4 inch clone trooper now. I think the old mold 501st, they still look good. And even the old Saga Legends, or yeah, the Saga Collection, sorry, figures, that mold even still looks pretty good too. So I think those figures still have value, but this is, I think, definitely the best in terms of realistic proportions, articulation, and that sort of thing. And this one is my favorite of the set. I do kind of wish they would have just went to just one type of marking for this set. For my preference, I prefer if the entire set was 501st Troopers. I would have loved a 4-pack of just these guys, and maybe do like a Sergeant Apo or something in it as well. Maybe if you want to have a unique character or something, even though I don't really like unique characters in these packs. Honestly, just straight up 501st, or maybe do 3 501st and 1 302nd, or 2 501st and 2 332nd, or something like that. Because I would have liked to have at least 2 of this guy, but unless they do a single release, I'm probably not going to get another one of these sets. So yeah, I might only have 1 of this mold for the 501st, which is a little unfortunate, but I do really like how it looks. It looks pretty cool. And then, of course, quickly, the standard white is, you know, standard white. There are no markings on it. It's the bare bones basic. But it looks good. So in terms of those comparisons, I will compare these two with their older versions here in a second. But first, oh, and right here, just showing this figure. This is kind of the posability you can expect. Pretty good. But just to compare with the Andor figure, here is the single carded Andor clone, and here's the new one. And this figure's still good, but I think this new one, I think the helmet looks a lot better on the new one. The helmet being removable on the Andor one is just slightly on the big side and gives them just no neck, where this one has a little bit of neck that looks realistic. Of course, you do get the feature of him having to remove a helmet, but even then, it's almost like the head's too big, or like the neck wasn't quite long enough on this one, because it even looks like he's kind of hunched in his armor a bit. Still not bad or anything, but I think they've refined it a bit better here with the new one. Also, I'm noticing too, the paint on the Andor one on the hands, the tone of white doesn't match the rest of the armor. It matches a lot better on the new figures. I don't know why that is. It's just something, I guess. The white on the 4-pack one is also a bit brighter. This one's a little darker, and I don't want to say yellowed, but not quite as bright. This one is definitely a bit brighter, and I think a little nicer looking, honestly. They're both pretty solid though, but I think the 4-pack ones are definitely a lot better. Those go off the side. Take the 501st clone, and then here he is with the old 501st, the single release. This is the Clone Wars single carded one. There was another one. I do have the old versions. There was the old version of this one when the TVC, the 2010 TVC, that had the old head sculpt and was on Revenge of the Sith card back. It's pretty much the same figure, just different head sculpts. But you can kind of see here the might not be super easy to see on camera, but this I like the blue on the new ones a lot better. The blue is quite muted on the old ones. This new one is a nice brighter blue that accuracy wise, I don't know, it's probably more accurate. I just like it better. This blue on the new one I think looks just so much nicer. This is still not a bad figure, but yeah, the new one I think just a lot better. But they can go together good enough. And then the 332nd here. And then the old 332nd. This one again, a couple years old now. Got a single card release in TVC. It has that same newer head sculpt underneath. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do know actually. The new one is just so much better. The old one, you can see the white markings on mine are super wonky. The helmet's way too big on this mold. The blue is a little nicer on this one than on that other File First, but I think I still like the blue on this one better. Just better figure. The 4-pack just has better figures, but you can kind of... I don't like this one that much, honestly. I see the helmet on it, it's way too big, and I'm just not a huge... maybe a hot take, not a huge fan of 332nd. I'm sorry. I don't really love the orange helmet on the File First blue. It's just a personal preference kind of thing. I don't like the old one very much, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I think it is a solid set. If you are a fan of collecting clone troopers and you want to start building a little army, or you want multiples or whatever, I would recommend picking it up, especially if you get it on sale. It's a little hard to recommend at full price unless you really want a bunch of a 4-pack of clones and you don't mind them not being all the same, I guess. But on sale, I got it for 20% off. I think that's pretty reasonable for this set, and I definitely recommend it if you can get it on sale. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.